Welcome back to the channel. Today I am talking about what I would call a must do, but you're probably not doing it. In fact, you might even be trying not to do it. One of the things that I find when I'm teaching adult golfers is that a lot of times they are actually not allowing themselves to do the things that I want them to do. And the reason for this is that golf is just simply counterintuitive. A lot of the things that you should be doing in your golf swing won't seem logical to you until you really kind of research them, really find out what's going on in the swing. And one of the things we're all trying to do when we're swinging a golf club is to take the club away on what we call plane. That means basically if you look at this stick in the ground, it's on the same angle as my shaft. And as I take the club back, I want to be kind of taking it back parallel to that angle. So you can see at the top of the swing, my lead arm is more or less parallel to the target. Then I will kind of pull it down back onto this plane line, turn into the golf ball and whiz it down the middle. What this actually does is it helps me to basically put the ball in the way of my golf swing rather than being the center of my golf swing. A lot of you are out there trying to hit the golf ball. Golf professionals are basically trying to hit this target with the golf ball, and they know they're going to hit the golf ball because they're swinging the golf club on plane. One of the reasons that you find this difficult, however, is because when you start your backswing, you don't get into the correct spine angle. In order to keep the club on plane, you've got to be allowing your lumbar spine to actually tilt towards the target in the backswing. Now you'll say, yeah, I've never seen that. That's a load of rubbish. How could that ever work? But the fact is it does. It just doesn't look like it because we're only talking about the lower part of your spine. We're not talking about the entire spine. The spine isn't a rigid entity so that if one part of it tilts, the whole of it tilts. On the contrary, the spine is almost like a big shock absorber, a bendy bar that can do all kinds of wonderful things. And that's what it has to do if you're going to make a decent golf swing. So what is actually happening when you start the backswing is that your lumbar spine should be tilting towards the target. The reason that it's doing that is because it is mounted in the middle of your pelvis, and your pelvis should be doing the same thing. As you start the backswing, allow your trail leg to straighten, your lead leg to bend, and your pelvis will automatically tilt. I know there's a lot of you out there trying to do it like a 24-year-old golf professional and start your backswing without any lower body movement whatsoever. Forget it, because you won't have the mobility to do that, and it will actually make it more difficult for you. Allow right at the beginning of your backswing your trail leg to straighten, your lead leg to bend, and your pelvis to turn and tilt. This will automatically tilt your lumbar spine, your lower spine towards the target. Now you'll say immediately, no, this can't be right because then I will tilt towards the target as well. No, you won't, because what you're going to do with your upper body is you're going to turn. And as you turn, your upper spine, your thoracic spine is going to allow you to stay over the ball despite your lower spine tilting towards the target. This is something you can only actually see from a camera behind you, but whoever watches a camera or a golfer from behind them, this is what you'd have to do to be able to actually see the position that the golfer gets into. The lower spine, the lower pelvis tilted, the lower spine also tilted, but the upper spine bent so that the center of my chest remains over the ball. This makes it far more easy for me to actually take the club up on plane. If I allow my upper spine to wander with the swing, then there is no way I'm going to keep the club on plane. I'm going to be swinging it around me. Or I'm going to have to pick the club up and therefore separate my arms from my shoulder movement and make the way back to the golf ball far more complicated for my small brain to control and to time. Obviously, that means in the downswing, you've got to do or allow exactly the opposite to happen. That means that as you get to the top of your backswing, the first thing you've got to do is get that trail leg bent again. By doing that, you will start the rotation, and you want to be allowing your trail hip to drop and your pelvis to tilt in the opposite direction. This will mean that your lumbar spine, your lower spine will tilt away from the target. Obviously, you'll all go, nah, can't do that. My weight will be on my back foot. Not if you rotate your upper body. By turning your thoracic spine this time to the target, you can be tilted back with your lower spine and still be over the ball with the center of your chest. And this is why you can still keep pressure on the ball, although in the backswing, your pelvis is doing that, and in the follow through, your pelvis is doing that. It's tilting almost in the opposite direction as what you want to be hitting the golf ball. So you're swinging it to the right, it's tilting to the left. You're swinging it to the left, it's tilting to the right. But it's your upper body which is helping you to stay over the ball. Try not to think of your spine as a piece of steel rodding that does everything from top to bottom the same. It's this wonderful mechanism, a bit like a shock absorber or a bendy bar, which allows you to do all kinds of wonderful things with the rest of your body and still stay centered over the golf ball. This is an absolutely imperative part of a golf swing, and you have got to let it happen. And I think an awful lot of you are out there almost trying to hold their pelvis still to stop it from tilting, because their fear obviously is that they're going to wobble around and not hit the golf ball precisely. It's going to have exactly the opposite effect. It is a totally natural movement, but it's a movement that you're going to have to practice in order for your conscious mind to allow you to do it. But if you do that, believe me, you're going to start striking the golf ball better, getting more pressure on it, getting a more consistent plane in your golf swing, and all because you're simply allowing your pelvis to tilt backwards and forwards in your golf swing. Go out in the range and give it a try. I promise you it will work. If you like the video as ever, smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, why not? To all my patrons out there, a big, big thank you. I shall leave a link below if you would like to become a patron to the channel. Until the next time, look after yourselves and goodbye.